Hello again. We're going to look at a machete this time. I figured this is probably a good time to do this video because I was using this machete today. I usually say that I'm more of a collector than a user, and that's mostly because I don't really have much use for these things. But I was actually using it today. I've taken this one camping before and I'm pretty happy with it. And I was using it today to well, get the parts that the chainsaw couldn't get. I was cutting down this really big bush with the chainsaw, and obviously there's some bits left on the ground. I didn't want to take the chainsaw too close to the ground, otherwise I'll blunt my chain. I actually just need to sharpen it after this video. Need to give the saw a good clean. But I didn't want to, have the chain of the saw hitting the ground. That's just bad news all around. So I used the machete to get the thinner bits that was sticking up. So now is probably just as good a time as any to make a video on this machete. So this is the Gerber Gator Kukri machete. Now I got this as the 3-piece set from Blades and Bows, which sadly Blades and Bows have shut down. That's partly or mostly to do with the Offensive Weapons Act, which what's going on with that? Anyway, when I bought it, it was £40 for the machete, the Gerber Freeman Guide knife I think it is, as well as the retractable saw. So 40 quid for the lot is actually pretty good, because this machete by itself can often cost between 40 and 60 pounds just for the machete. So I think that's a good deal. It's just a shame that it's not really something that you can capitalise on now with Blades and Bows being shut down. I mean, this is really a set that should cost about £110. So that's one of those things that I grabbed when I could a couple of years ago. So to start off with, the sheath. Usually on blades like these, the sheath is actually quite crap. I actually really like this sheath. I don't like nylon sheath at all, but this one's actually really well made and actually looks nice. It is a Gerber. This, I believe, is made in China. The sheath and the knife, I believe, is made in China, but it's well put together. It's all nylon, but we've got a lot of rivets, so I'm feeling fairly confident that this one actually won't fall apart. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rivets holding it together to take the machete. Actually, let's finish looking at the sheath. On the other side, you've got 2 D-rings, one here and one here, so if you want to put a strap on to put it over your back, you can do that. You've also got a belt sheath, a belt loop for a standard size belt. I don't know if I would really want to wear this on the belt, to be honest. And then to take the knife out of the sheath, you just unzip it and undo the strap, and it comes out nicely, just like that. So it's not the prettiest of machetes. It's sort of a tactical looking machete, which, whatever, is reasonably practical. I mean, it's not too expensive for a machete. It is hollow ground, which does seem a bit strange to me for a machete. I would have thought, Scandi or flat would be better. It is what it is, I suppose. Now, when I got it, it didn't come very sharp. I've found it a wee bit difficult to get this one sharp. I prefer to use stones when I can. This is kind of an awkward shape to sharpen on oil or water stones. I've tried. Maybe I'm better. Maybe I should get smaller stones and take the stone to the machete instead of taking the machete to the stones. I think after this video I'm going to file it just a little bit because it is quite dull. I don't see the point in putting a razor edge because I was actually hitting the dirt with this a lot. That's something you usually don't want to do, but sometimes it's one of those things that you have to do. I mean, you can see I've actually had quite a bit of good use out of it, so it's quite dirty. Most of my knives don't look like that. This one I'm willing to use because of how much I paid for it. Now the handle is reasonably comfortable. I was using it for quite a while. It wasn't getting sore or anything, although it's a tiny little bit loose. But you can see here we've got Torx. We've got 2 Torx screws, which you can unscrew from both sides. It comes with this lanyard, which is nice. I can never remember how you use these. I always seem to do it wrong. But that's good, just to give you a little bit extra security. Oh, god damn it. Well, anyway, a wee bit extra security while you're holding the machete, just so you can put that around your wrist or whatever, so when you're actually swinging, if you accidentally lose your grip, you don't put it through someone's face because it's it's flying right out of your hand. So that's, you know, especially if you're working sort of near a road where I was, in someone's garden, you know, the last thing I want is that machete to go out of my hand and into someone's car. That would be a very bad situation. Blade steel, not sure, can't remember, had this for a few years, and I don't really see it as all that relevant for a sort of inexpensive machete. I mean, with a machete, it's one of those things that if you use it, you're going to be sharpening it a lot anyway, so it's better if it's a softer steel, especially if you're doing a lot of chopping, and even more so if you're chopping near the ground, because obviously the dirt is going to blunt it a lot more, and you're quite likely to hit a stone. In fact, when I was using the chainsaw, I actually hit a stone with the chainsaw, but I took a decent chunk out of the stone with the saw, and well, the cutters on my saw isn't looking too great, so that's going to be fun sharpening it. And I also need to clean the clutch and all the rest, and the flywheel, so I'm sure that's going to be fun. Not. Let's just do some measurements. I usually don't, but let's just do it for the hell of it. Tape measures right there. Okay, we'll just do the overall length first. We're looking at 19 inches roughly, just under 19 inches, or 48 centimeters. Cutting edge about 11.5, although really part of that's blunt. What should be the cutting edge is about 11.5, or 29 centimeters. Overall blade length, well, 32 centimeters, or just over a foot. Handle, 17 centimeters, just under 7 inches. So a decent size. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's not too heavy, but it's not too light. It's not the best machete in the world, obviously. It handles nicely. Obviously, being a kukri, it's weighty towards the front for the chopping, which is nice. Is it worth the money? Well, for what I paid for it, absolutely. Honestly, for what I paid for it, I wouldn't mind buying two. 60 quid just for the machete? Possibly. Maybe if you're really like Gerber. I personally wouldn't want to pay 60 quid just for the machete. £30 just for the machete? Sure, not too bad. Anyway, is there anything left to say about this? I don't think so. Not really. The only thing is, from about here to here should be sharp, but it's not. I'm going to get you a bit closer. So here is the tang, which is not supposed to be sharp, but from here to here is supposed to be sharp, and it came duller than a butter knife. Anyway, I don't think I've got really that much more to say about this, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as always. I'm sorry that I've not been uploading much, by the way. I keep filming videos, then go to upload them, then I sort of think to myself, no, I'm not too happy with that. And then I just sort of forget. Anyway, cheers and I'll see you later.